This is Romo Dunze, and you're listening to the BALLSVILLE podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome in, Ballsville gamers, to another episode of the Ballsville podcast. I am your host, Scott Fitzgerald. You can find me at Run the Hurry Up on Sleeper, and our games combine fantasy football and poker, which create big payouts with great odds. Okay, gang, we got a big show today. We have a new guest, and it's getting close. Pretty soon we're going to be talking about the NFL draft. We're going to be talking about rookie drafts, where these guys are landing. It should be pretty exciting, but let's get to the intros. I'm going to bring in my co-host. He's Bill's Mafia. He goes by Trader Clem, and one of the brightest minds in trading, dynasty trading that I know. He is Sean. What's up, Sean?
Not much, buddy. How you doing?
And we have a new guest in today. His name is Reckless Ted. He's from Phoenix. He has a pretty cool Discord that we've kind of came across, and it's really, really cool. So I'll get back to him and let you guys know all about that pretty soon. So we do have a little promo today. If you are part of Ted's Discord, if you write in the chat room, Reckless, you are going to be entered into a free drawing into one of our mini games, which is a $4 value. It's a best ball mini league draft. And we have 3 more left before they will be done for the year. So definitely get into the chat. Definitely put in Reckless, and you will be entered at the end of the show. What's up, Crash Davis? Crash Davis in the chat. You guys will be piling in. So just to give you guys a heads up on what's going on, we finished our March Madness with Cyborg, who's one of our gamers here. And we had definitely represented by Ballsville, really good. We had Jimbo's Bimbos come in second place out of, it was a what did he pay? A $20 investment, and he won $1,700. So he picked Florida and got the win. And so if anyone would need that, it's definitely Jimbo, considering what happened to him the last 6 months with the hurricane and the accident. So we want to congratulate Jimbo, but Ballsville was well represented in the March Madness pools. I won a little bit of money. I think JoJo won a little bit of money, so we did pretty good. What's up, Jenny B? Jenny B's in the chat. Also, our minis we're at 406 right now. That is underway. We have 3 more, 407, 408, 409, 410. So we have 4 more. So definitely get it. Go to theballsvillegame.com. And you can sign up for one of the mini leagues. The website's looking really good. Definitely get on there. Alex does a tremendous job keeping it real tight for you guys. So that's going there. All our dynasties are full. We expanded all the way to 16 leagues now. So they're all off and running. They're just getting ready for the NFL draft so we can start our rookie drafts. And then I'm going to go to Sean for the Triathlon League. Our Triathlon leagues are starting to fill right now. And Sean, why don't you give the crowd a little sneak peek with what the triathlons are all about?
Basically, guys, if you don't already know this, because I know there's some of you guys that are new to the podcast today, so thank you for being here, number one. Number two, the triathlon game is a new game that we have basically invented. It's kind of our brainchild game. And it's a combination of your standard redraft, guillotine, and best ball all in one season. So you roll out, you start with an 8-week of your basic redraft. You go through that, you go into a 4 weeks of guillotine with an elimination for the lowest scoring team. You go down to a bracket from there. That's a best ball bracket that takes 16 teams and whittles down to 1 team during a best ball era. So it's a really fun setup. There's a lot more to it, guys. It's a lot of good payouts along the way. You don't have to win all the way to the end to get paid. You can actually get paid throughout the process. There's some bonuses involved. So it's a lot. I don't want to take too much time right now because we're going to have another episode in the near future that really breaks it down even further. So for you guys that do want to learn more immediately, go to the website, theballsvillegame.com. We have all the information there. You can go to our triathlon tab and read up on everything, the bonuses, the payouts, the structure. It's all listed there for you guys. So feel free to tune in the near future for that episode. But in the meantime, check out theballsvillegame.com to learn more.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty sick. I mean, we're already getting it filled up. I think we're already, at least I'm on Ra, which I run. The Egyptians. I think we only need like 7 more players, and we'll be ready to go there. The other
we got about 10 to 11 across the board, so we're pretty much like halfway filled, at minimum on most of our leagues that are already open, and then we have, as soon as they fill, we're going to open another round and so on. So we have 3 total rounds of each group: Roman, Egyptian, and Greek. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Right, and it's not super expensive. It's $33. And like Sean said, that you're gonna get hit different pay periods throughout the tournament. Well, I'm gonna call it a tournament because basically you got to, once you get to the bracket round, it's a 1-game elimination, just like March Madness. So it's kind of like a tournament. So you're gonna win. There's going to be different areas to win. You're going to win some money in the redraft. You're going to win some money, chance to win some money in the guillotine. And then definitely when you get to the bracket rounds, every time you knock somebody out, you're going to get a pay bump. And then we'll get to the end where Ballsville was invented. And it's if you have the balls to put up the extra money to get to to be a grand champ and wager that money, you can win the big prize. So welcome in Ali Soltani. So everybody that's new to the Discord, coming from I'm assuming this is from Reckless Ted's Discord. I'm name challenged. So when it comes to names or like names of dynasty teams, it's a struggle for me. So
but we love to listen to Scott try to do it because it's always the best entertainment to hear Scott try to name some names. And a lot of Alex's team names, I think, are based solely on making it difficult for Scott.
Yeah, I think they do this on purpose, but you know what? It's fun for the whole family. So come on in and check it out for while I'm struggling.
That's some good wholesome family fun there, Cotton.
That's right. Exactly. So, all right. That's a good one, Sean. All right. So I want to welcome in Reckless Ted. He is new to our Discord or to our podcast right here, and he has his own Discord going. So I'm gonna give the floor to you, Ted, and go ahead and let our audience know what you're bringing to the table here.
Absolutely. So rewind a bit. Me and my 2 buddies, White Yoshi and Yellow Yoshi, and we got together and we're like, hey, we want to start a community of degens and then get the most active degens and get them together and interacting and creating leagues based off of sort of knowing this person's going to be shooting the shit with trades and all that kind of stuff, and also be able to like learn from each other. That's why I integrated a wiki. I have a lot of different sections where people can get advice and then talk to each other. So really, the goal with it is just to create a community that, you can year round, you can talk Dynasty, you can get advice, you can do all those sorts of things. And we've seen exceptional growth. We started February 15th and we're at like 606 people. And so, I think the Dynasty population is responding to what we're doing, and, we're really happy to do it. So, it's been great so far.
Awesome. Now, obviously you're a degenerate yourself when it comes to fantasy football. Now, what is your favorite game? Do you like Dynasty? I mean, obviously you're more Dynasty eccentric, but do you only play Dynasty, or do you like best ball? You like redraft? You like guillotine? I mean, what do you like? What other games do you like?
Yeah, so I started in redraft for a while. Like, I think that's a typical trajectory of a lot of people. They'll start in redraft and then go into Dynasty or deeper leagues, deeper formats after a little bit. But I started in that for a while, got into Dynasty in like 2021-ish. And that's just my main my main thing now, Dynasty. I mean, it requires a different, deeper level of knowledge and more of a year-round commitment and sort of incremental gains sort of thing, and that's the sort of stuff that I love. And so, yeah, I stick mostly to that. And I really like, so before I started this up, I had my leagues that I called like chaos mode leagues, which is just like every bonus you can have basically, running back premium, point per, so, 400 point weeks kind of thing, right? Like a stack can get 200 or something of a really good. But yeah, I mean, I just like to keep it dynasty centric, but I'm open to different combinations thereof. That's why I'm really interested to hear about your guys's triathlon format and seeing all these different formats. And it's one of the reasons that I was interested in collaborating with you guys as well as getting on the podcast, because it's just like, we like to give a voice. I know we're new, but we like to give a voice to people who've got cool stuff going on, and you guys got some cool stuff going on. So yeah, I mean, long story short, dynasty.
All right, now are your leagues mainly, are they super flex? Are they one quarterback? Are they tight end premium? I mean, what's your guys' setup?
We put out 2 quarterback tight end premium leagues. We put out 1 quarterback. We put out 1 quarterback tight end premium. We put out super flex tight end premium, regular super flex, and then chaos mode. So we will kind of put them out as we feel the demand is there. Like there isn't really a set way that we do it. So every once in a while I'll do a 2 QB one, and then I'll do, super flex mostly because that's the most popular. And we have sort of a feature in the Discord called Ted's alert system. So you can sign up for a role and then it'll alert you when we drop a league of that type. Because what we do is we just include an @ in there. And so if we drop a Superflex TEP league and you're subscribed to that alert, you'll get an alert when we do it. And we're always willing to hear the people. If enough people are wanting a certain type, we'll just throw it out there, right? So
Interesting. Now, do you draft? Are you mainly like? Do you like loading up on quarterbacks, running backs, receivers? I mean, what's your typical build without giving away any super secrets?
yeah. So just for example, a tight end premium super flex league. Unless I'm getting one of the top 4 guys, which I mean everybody's kind of got their own, but like Lamar, Daniels, Allen, and maybe
I was gonna
a
say,
fourth.
if you don't throw Allen in there, then this
You're gonna
might be
make
your
Sean
last time on this
upset.
podcast.
Yes, exactly. But if you miss that, what I like to do is I like to grab a young stud receiver, right? Because they've got the most longevity. They've got a really good hit rate in terms of sustained success, because you've got spikes with running backs, you've got more injuries, you've got more volatility. So unless it's a running back premium league, I'm going to go wide receivers in the late first and second rounds. And speaking of that, Amon-Ra has slipped. So grab Amon-Ra in your leagues. So
Yeah, he's fallen to the second round in some of these leagues, which is kind of shocking to me, to be honest with you. But our leagues that we've been in haven't even been TEP, so we don't even have those tight ends up there stealing spots in the early draft picks to push them farther down the board either. So it's been pretty shocking, to be honest.
And obviously that's probably the Ben Johnson effect, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, it's got to be
guaranteed. Same reason that Caleb is shot up the draft boards.
Yep,
exactly.
Yep. So, well, I want to welcome in Jimbo's Bimbos. Welcome in, Jimmy. We just congratulations on your second place finished in Cyborg's pool, and welcome in Cyborg's in. So they're 2 of our regulars. Want to welcome them in. So do you have any questions for Ted, Sean, before I get into something real quick that Ted's probably not going to really like?
No, I definitely. So I'm curious because we haven't done a lot of tight end premium in Ballsville, and I play a lot of tight end premium outside of Ballsville prior to being a part of it. So I've always been partial to it because I do like the same way that PPR kind of brought wide receivers into the limelight. I think that TEP is doing the same thing for tight ends. So, in the scenarios you're talking about, right? Like I've been more prone, especially if it's a full point TEP, to snag that, that Brock Bowers over that Drake London, Marvin Harrison, maybe even Neighbors, type of scenario. So, like beyond Bowers and McBride, because in my opinion, those two in a TEP are almost going to be in the first round pretty consistently. So beyond those two, is there a guy that jumps out? Because to me, there's like 5 guys that it could be like a pick your poison scenario for any one of those 4 or 5 guys. So is there one of those guys that you really like in a TEP scenario above the other guys in that group there, in that, say, tier 2?
Yeah. So if I miss out on one of the top 2, which in the late first, I'll take Bowers. If I feel like if it's a 1 point premium or above, I'll take Bowers for sure. And then if I miss out on him, I like to grab Hawkinson because he slipped a lot. I'm not going into that situation thinking he's gonna be a sustained tight end 1, Kelsey, whatever in this new scenario, but I think he's gonna be a good, solid, reliable tight end 1 for a few years, and that's pretty valuable in tight end premium. And a lot of people pass up on that because they can't get the ultra ceiling, right? And sometimes you just got to pivot to another position, get the ceiling there, right? And so after Hawkinson, I like to go Likely because he's shown it on the field. Andrews is getting older. They're probably going to start, going like this, start reversing their roles, right? And at the very least, he's a really, really good handcuff. And I think he's going to be in the consistent tight end 2 conversation this year, and then going forward, eventually he's going to replace Andrews. And from what I've seen, it seems to me like he has huge upside. So those are really the 2 that I'm going after. And then if all else fails, you need a target hog, go Ingram. In Denver, just because I feel like they're just gonna pepper him with targets, right? Like who knows how long it'll happen for, but yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
I got a couple guys. I want a couple guys I want to run by you, and this is just from what I've seen in our dynasty startups, and I want your take on a couple of these guys. Now I don't know if that's happening, and are you guys drafting in leagues right now in your Discord? Are you guys doing any dynasty drafts? Have you guys been starting? Okay,
Yeah,
so let me know if this if you're seeing this also. So I'm seeing Pat Mahomes, and this is super flex. So I'm seeing Pat Mahomes drop to the mid to late second.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing Kyren Williams going in like the freaking 4th round.
Yeah. Yep. We're seeing that too. I recently just got Pat Mahomes at the 211 in a super flex. And I was like, how is that? I don't understand.
No.
I don't either. I mean, the guy had one bad year, literally like one bad year. And it wasn't even like a horrible year. It was just not a normal Patrick Mahomes year. And everybody's just like throwing him into the wolves. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me?
If I remember right, he still finished, I think, quarterback 11. So I mean, he's a top 12 quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't his normal Patrick Mahomes type thing.
Yeah, he just
Big
didn't
deal.
win it like 1 or 2. So it's like,
yeah, and they've upgraded on they got all their receivers back. Rasheed Rice, Worthy a year more deep in that offense, and then you got Brown again coming back. They brought back Hunt, so like they're basically running it back with the receivers that had they been healthy, he wouldn't have had that type of year. So there's no reason for him not to be right back where he was the year before.
Yeah, there's huge team and game plan context to his numbers. Huge. I mean, there's the whole thing. They're like, all right, they're continuously evolving with the amount of injuries and different things that is going on. So they had to do it the way they needed to do it. And that wasn't fantasy conducive this time. But when he has them, I bet it will be.
Yeah. The Rasheed Rice, I think, was the biggest injury for his numbers, in my opinion. And if Rasheed didn't go down, I think Patrick Mahomes would have been right up there in the top 8 still.
Yeah, 100%.
And they might have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, let me get your take on this. on this one there, Ted. Who do you think's the first receiver that goes off the board between Tet and Matthew Golden?
Oh, you had to.
in the actual draft.
Yeah, in the NFL draft.
Oh, Tet, probably Tet.
Probably Tet.
There we go.
Yeah.
See,
Probably,
If I had to bet on it, then yeah, Tet.
yeah, Tet.
we did
All
bet on it. That's why I asked you.
So yeah,
Oh, okay.
Sean and I have a little bet. I think I said
Okay.
it wouldn't be shocking if Matthew Golden, with all that speed, gets attracted by a team that takes him and wants to move him all
Hey,
over.
the only team that would do that is the Raiders, and they already got their eye on Janty, so we're good.
Don't let the Cowboys out of there. The Cowboys, they like speed. Don't be
Nah, they're
shocked.
gonna go with Hampton.
Yeah, probably. They can have to.
I think those are the two running backs off the board in the first round, in my opinion, are those two. You might get a third that sneaks into the back end, but those two for sure.
Ted, if you're early in a super flex rookie draft, are you investing in any of these two quarterbacks?
Not particularly. Not unless they slip. I don't know, to 104 maybe, or something like that. 105.
So you wouldn't take Ward at 102 if he's drafted by the Titans in 1 overall.
I have a feeling that there's going to be more than one backfield that changes based off of this running back class, and I think their opportunity combined with how good they are relative to others is going to be just a bit more, and is going to make me grab them, because I don't know, I'm just not super into like really athletic ones who have quarterbacks who have accuracy issues or something like that. Oh, he just needs to get that's the whole thing. Like, that's the entire thing. He just needs to what? So
Were you like Josh Rosen over Josh Allen at the time? Because that's I was in that boat too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking shit. I felt the same way at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. There's always exceptions to the rule, but
yeah, he definitely has changed my opinion. I'll tell you that much. Watching the way this guy's flourished, but I'm with you. That accuracy thing is a hard thing to overlook.
I think we've been spoiled recently with rookie QBs and transformations from QBs, and it's skewed the data a little bit, and people are starting to think, okay, who's this year's Puka? Who's this year's neighbors? Like, I don't know, maybe no one,
Yeah.
We're forgetting about like the Will Levises, that have done crap,
Right.
So it's like the shiny new toy aspect, right? People, you forget about the 6 toys you bought before that broke 2 days later.
Right. Or it didn't have an exceptional year. It just had a good, stable year. So I'll take my shot on something that might be exceptional, but I'm leaving value on the table, sort of thing.
Got you. All right. Okay. Well, good. I'm going to get into a little quiz for you, Ted. You're not coming on the show that easy without getting away. So this is what I call a Ballsville quiz.
I have not seen this quiz either, so I don't know if I'm going to know the answers.
Sean is not allowed to talk.
Okay.
You can sit back there and laugh. So I'm going to give you 3 questions, and they're multiple choice, and you can pick out which answer you think is the best. So the first question is, or the first phrase I should say is, what is this? So the first one is called the arms race. So is the arms race A, hundreds of one-armed runners running a marathon, B, startup dino draft strategy where an owner acquires 4 to 5 starting quarterbacks on his roster, or C, military lingo where countries acquire nuclear weapons?
I can't see why you told me I could just laugh.
Okay, give me the initial wording of the question again, not the answers, just the question.
The word is arms race.
Okay, arms race. Yeah, probably the last one.
So I'll go through the ones. I'll go through the answers again. A, hundreds of one-armed runners running a marathon. 2, startup dino draft strategy where an owner acquires 4 to 5 starting quarterbacks on his roster, or C, military lingo where countries acquire nuclear weapons.
I'm
going to go with C.
Yeah, C. I mean, but are they acquiring it from external, stimulus, like another
Remember, remember,
country?
these are Ballsville questions.
Yeah, okay, got it. So I'll go ahead and go B.
You are correct. You are correct. So B.
Until we get a military in Ballsville. Once there's a military in Ballsville, then that term will be utilized other ways.
So
Yeah.
this is the strategy that everybody knows. I'm a quarterback extremist. So
Okay.
in Superflex Dynasty, I try to acquire as many starting quarterbacks as possible. So you don't be shocked if in a league that I've been known to take my first 3 picks or quarterbacks, and maybe my first I acquire 4 quarterbacks in the first 6 rounds in a dynasty startup because I try to just corner the market. So my
I
saying
got a quick
is,
question for him on the startup question real quick. Do
What?
you like the strategy of trading up for more high-end elite talent players in a startup, or do you like to trade back and acquire more, say tier 2 players and build a bench? What's your more preferred strategy?
I like to trade back from the first round to somewhere in the second and try to trade into the third from somewhere later because in my opinion, the first round is the hotness. The second round is what could be the hotness for sure. They're in the mix. And the third round is poised to be the hotness, right? So I'd rather take 2 high talents, which is in my opinion through the mid third round kind of, rather than one exceptional talent, right? Because either one of those 2 ones that I'm taking could be exceptional. But yeah, that's kind of the way I like to do that. And then you can get like a second or a first in the process of doing that because people love their top round picks. So I like to do that, trade down from the first.
Gotcha.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. And don't forget any of you gamers in there. Don't forget to put reckless in the chat for a free mini game entry. So that was question number 1. Question number 2. The word is pub sub. A new name for a German sub fleet. B, communication model for decoding complex architectural apps. Or C, a delicious sandwich awarded to the winner of an NFL player bet between 2 fantasy football gamers.
Yeah, I don't know. One is different, so I'm thinking.
So
C.
multiple choice. So the key to multiple choice is you eliminate the one that's just like, this is stupid. This shouldn't even be in here. That's how I attack multiple choice. So
Right.
you just eliminate one that and then you try to decipher between the other 2.
But Scott, didn't you make these 3 up? You can't call them stupid. You made them up.
Stupid.
I didn't make these up. I got these from somewhere else. I'll go through the answers again.
Okay.
So pub sub, listen carefully. A new name for German subfleet.
Okay.
B, communication model for developing complex architectural apps. Or C, a delicious sandwich awarded to the winner of an NFL player bet between 2 fantasy football gamers.
Okay, so I could go military again. Not sure if I should do that. Then I could go.
Remember, we haven't made a military yet in Ballsville.
That's right. This could be future plans. I gotta remember that. I'll go C. Final answer. I'll go C.
You are right. You are correct. C. So
coincidentally, that is the same bet that me and Scott have on Tet and Golden in the draft.
So being that you're out west, but you said you've been all over. So have you ever been to a Publix supermarket?
No, but I've heard of them. I know of them.
So besides the groceries being so extremely expensive, I would never shop there. They make outstanding pub sub sandwiches.
Okay.
So if you ever come across a Publix, don't buy groceries, but go in and buy yourself a sandwich.
Okay.
Make them make you a sub. It's quite delicious. So what we do on Ballsville is anytime we make a bet, we always say, oh, that's a pub sub bet, which comes out to about $10. So the loser we just ship them $10. Or in my case, I live in Florida with Jimmy and with Ken. And if the loser actually gets a pub sub.
Nice.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes. So that is it. So you are 2 for 2, and we have one more question. Now this one might be tough. We'll see if you can handle it.
Okay.
You ready?
I think so.
Okay. The word is.
Is it more difficult than the last two?
I don't know. The word is oatmeal pants.
Okay.
So A new brand of designer dress slacks. B, a new breakfast cereal from Quaker's Oats. Or C, an aging running back that looks like he has a pants filled with a diaper full of oatmeal when he runs.
Oh man. Okay. So
I think we're gonna
2,
need to hear those again.
yeah. 2 of them are pants oatmeal related. Okay. Got it.
All right, I'll go through them again. Oatmeal pants. A new brand of designer dress slacks. B, a new breakfast cereal from Quaker Oats. You know, the little Quaker Oats guy.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
C, an aging running back that looks like his pants are filled with a diaper full of oatmeal when he runs.
Well,
I want to
because
know where you found these questions, Scott.
yeah, because I want to use the term now. Definitely C, because I want to start using that term.
And you
think
are
you're more
right.
than welcome.
You're 3
All
for
right.
3.
All right.
So
Look at
I
me.
came up with this analogy of an aging running back to me. And there's some that, Samaje Perine comes to mind, Ezekiel
Mhm.
Elliott, where they just run like they have a diaper full of oatmeal.
It's not just running backs either. I
Yeah.
mean, Zach Ertz might be there this year when the time comes that we see him on the field again. It gets, Kelsey could be up there with the Oatmeal Pants Club.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys out there.
Yes. So these are aging players that get the oatmeal pants syndrome, and we make sure we tag them for our gamers so they do not draft them.
I really think they're missing out on an awesome advertising opportunity. They could probably make millions of dollars for Quaker Oats doing some sort of oatmeal pants commercials. Zeke, you can tell your agents to get on that, brother. I know you're listening because we're super popular pod.
Yeah, they haven't reached out to me yet. So I'm still waiting on that phone call. But like I said, my lines are all jammed up with like.
Let's say this before we say anything, Scott. On air, live here, so that the whole world knows you coined that term, correct?
Yes,
that is a Scott coined term.
Yes.
All right, you see that? Nobody, you can't jack that shit no more. It's proof. This is like a poor man's patent right here.
Yeah.
So yes. So you did a tremendous job. 3 for 3. Congratulations.
Thank you. Do I get a trophy? Do I get some sort of certificate?
You get
How about a thumbs up?
You get you get a congratulations.
Fantastic. I'll take it.
All right. Okay, now we're going to have like I said last week, Daniel Jeremiah got a hold of me. He wanted to challenge Connor for a first round mock. Connor could not make it today, so we're going to have to delay that to next week.
Connor was all scheduled to be here until he heard that DJ was ready to challenge him, and then all of a sudden something came up, and Connor couldn't make it.
Yeah, so Connor was gonna, wanted to challenge Daniel Jeremiah a couple of weeks ago on air, and Daniel must listen to our pod because he called me and said, I want to challenge this guy.
The man texted my phone in the middle of the episode and said, "Who is this Connor fella, and where do I need to meet him?"
Yeah, so if you don't know Connor, he's our 2024 Ballsville Player of the Year. So he was the money winner for last year.
So make sure you know that too when you do meet him.
Yeah, and he'll definitely make sure that you would know that if he was on here.
I love Connor. I like to tease him. Me and him have a fun relationship on this episodes.
So since we don't have that, we're going to shift over to some. It's a lot of people's favorite part of the show. I can never remember the name of it. I always have to go to Sean. It clouds my mind. But could you help me with this, Sean? What is this next episode?
Well, Scott, the next segment is Trade Talks.
The Trade Talks. Everyone loves trade talks. Everyone likes when we break down their trades. And we got Ted on here, and Ted's going to help us break down some trades.
Okay.
You ready, Ted?
I am.
These are dynasty trades. I think we got a couple.
All right, so here we're going to move on forward. As you can see, we do have our trader Clem out here ready to help us evaluate with his cigar and his tarot trading cards ready to roll. So he's going to give us the hand here. So on the first trade, Trader Clem will pop in here to give us his opinion. We have Baker Mayfield, a 2026 first and a 2026 second, in exchange for Tua Tagovailoa and Jonathan Taylor. So I will let you go since you are the guest, Ted. What do you think of this trade? Is it a yay or an A?
Okay, I just need to know the format.
Okay, it's a Ballsville, so it'd be super flex, no
Okay.
tight end premium, and there's no tight
I
ends
got
in
it.
there. But it's super flex and 12 man rosters,
Yep.
and then I'm not sure. Let's just say they're mid first, mid second, because we don't know if
Okay.
they're early or late.
The only difference would be on the scoring is that passing touchdowns are 6 points as opposed to 4. Otherwise, it's pretty standard PPR scoring.
Got it. Yeah, that's what we do that for all of our leagues too. We change it to 6. Okay, so I look at it sort of. I'm gonna evaluate it quarterback to quarterback and then picks to running back just to start off. So I'd rather have Baker than Tua. I'll start off with that, and then if they're mid 2026, mid for both. Let's see. JT is 27. Did he just turn 27? Did he? No, he's 26.
I think this is his 26 year.
Yeah. Okay. So he's 26. I would take the Mayfield side just because I think unless I'm hurting at running back, unless I'm really hurting at running back, I would take the Mayfield side because I like Mayfield more. I think the first and the second mid is an appropriate value for Taylor, so that puts it over the top. I'd go Mayfield side for sure.
Scott, where do you stand?
I think it's a little closer. I do like Mayfield a tad more than Tua. I mean, you always got the injury in the back of your head, back of your head. No
Pun intended.
No point intended. But with the concussions, JT is aging. He has definitely got some wear and tear going back to college with all the carries there. So I think I like the 2026 class. I think it's going to be an awesome class. So do I want to re-roll at running back and just take Baker? I think I'll definitely take the Baker side, but to me it's a lot closer.
Okay.
See, and I'm closer to Ted's opinion. I think that the Baker side wins this trade by a decent amount. I wouldn't say like a ton, but I would say it's a good amount of a win. I consider Tua to be a couple, like at least one, maybe 2 tiers behind where Baker's going to be after his contract. And, I think that they just have like a better trajectory as a team right now than Miami. Miami's like kind of a volatile, scenario. So I would definitely lean like by far towards Baker, where I would actually need to have like Tua in that at least the second, maybe even the first to make the Baker, even without the Jonathan Taylor part of it involved. So for me, Jonathan Taylor puts it way over the top as far as that's concerned. I'm sorry, the Jonathan Taylor side is just, it's just not enough, for me. So I think that Baker is a higher value player. I think that first and that second, I think you could get that first for Jonathan Taylor and straight up. And then Tua in the second for me is still not quite making the Baker side. So, I like where Baker's at in that trade for me. I'm definitely leaning the Baker side. So, Jonathan Taylor's a great back for 1 year, maybe 2, but that team is so volatile, man. They got AR and Danny Dimes competing at quarterback. Both, like, if Danny Dimes is competing with you as like 50-50 starter reps, dude, there's a problem. That's scary as hell. So
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor is going to be 100% affected by the outcome of that battle.
Yeah, I think looking at this trade too, not knowing like where the teams are at, it almost seems like the guy who's taking Taylor may be like a running back away from like pushing into the playoffs or pushing for a ship, and he's downgrading from Baker to Tua. And then the other guy might be in, he might be in rebuild mode. We're like, look, a 26-year-old running back is getting close to the in a couple more years he's going to have the syndrome of the oatmeal pants. So I'll bring in those rookie ones that are coming from a great class. So just looking at it like that, it probably helps both teams a little bit.
Yeah, and on another, like taking it another level deeper, I like to look at what I could potentially do with each side, right? So I see Baker as ascending at this point because I think his pieces are going to get better, and obviously picks only appreciate in value until you're in the draft, right? And then I see Tua either getting hurt and it's just a garbage dumpster fire, or he's going to sort of plateau. I think we've seen the ceiling. And you put it perfectly about JT, 1 or 2 years, right?
Yep, for sure. Welcome in, Play Again Me. Don't forget, guys, if you guys have popped in here, don't forget to put Reckless in the chat, and you will be entered into a free mini game, $4 value at theballsville.com.
I was about to say the same thing. And then Play Again Me is talking about he likes Baker. He likes actually Tua over Baker. So, that's where like Eye of the Beholder comes into play, right? And this, Ted, from being big dynasty trades and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't mean that when we talk about what side we like or what side other people, it doesn't mean that we're right. It just means that that's where we fall with our player evaluations. If you like Tua over Baker and you want to do that deal because you feel like that's an upgrade for you at quarterback, then by all means, you make that deal happen. I'm the perfect type of target for you because I'll feel the other way and I'll give you great value and we'll work together and both of us will be happy. So like, that's the kind of scenario. Like, I don't want people to feel like we're evaluating a trade here that we're dogging your side of it, unless it's a blatantly obvious, like value for value situation, then we're not going to be talking down on anything you guys are doing.
Yeah, I challenge everyone to look back at a trade everybody said was one-sided and see how it worked out. Because there's I've seen many examples of that where people would be like, "Oh, a first and a second for HN," it's like, yeah, and then it's like, oh, look at that, and then the same sort of thing with, like, I don't know, let's say, like, how Marvin Harrison has gone up and down in value, right? Like,
Yeah.
he was the coming, and now he's depressed a bit. We'll see. So
I think he's a buy candidate right now, 100% for me. The way that he's dropping in drafts, I'm snagging him everywhere I can. And he's a guy like you were talking about, like trading up for in that bottom of the second, early third. Like, that's a target all day for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's 100%. A super value. Welcome in,
and I
Josh.
can say that now that I've drafted my last dynasty league for this season. My last startup, I should say.
Welcome in, Josh, to the chat. Looks like he's from Reckless Ted's Discord. Shouts out Reckless.
Welcome.
Awesome. And make sure if you guys do type in Reckless to get the free mini entry, you don't type it in unless you spell it exactly how it's spelled so that it registers you. Otherwise, it won't register you.
Yes,
and please, it is done through the computer. It's not something we do.
Yes, and please, if you get a chance, please like and subscribe to our podcast. It really helps out a lot. I always scroll through the comment section, so good or bad, put a comment in there. We like to read it, and it helps us prepare for other shows and give you guys what you like.
And for all the Funland people out there, we've got 2 channels for these guys. We've got the Ballsville Game Announcement channel, and we've got the chat channel. So head over to there if you want to get any information, talk about it, whatever. So, and that's at the bottom of the server.
Awesome. And we, like I said, we want to thank you again, Ted, for letting us hang out in your Discord and promote our website and our games. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're all about symbiotic relationships, like if there's something cool, we want to get it in front of our people's eyes, and that helps people who've got cool stuff. So it's, it's a win-win for everyone, including the people in the server. So
awesome. Yes. And our triathlon is one of a kind. So that's
right.
New.
Just like Eddie Brock and Venom.
Yep.
All right.
You ready?
Next one.
Next trade is
Bam.
DK Metcalf in the 106. So this one we actually know the picks on this one. So this would not be a startup style trade. This is actually like a good in-season trade. So I like that better. We got DK in the 106 in exchange for JSN, the 310, and the 209. So Ted, you are the guest, so you would get first crack at it.
Huh. Okay. So from what I've seen in my leagues, JSN's going for at least 2 seconds right now. And
Man, I want to be in that league.
yeah, I mean, maybe not at least, but like I'm seeing him command that sort of value because there's always someone who
Yeah.
is in on JSN, right?
I
And
thought
so
him getting closer to 2 firsts in some leagues, man. He's
yeah,
really tired by certain people.
yeah. So that's a mid first. Metcalf at this point, wide receiver for Pitt. I put him at a late first at best, so I think even without the 310 and 209, I'm taking the JSN side. Um, yeah,
I like your thought process there. I'm in the same boat. I think that for JSN right now, the situation being what it is, like he's a guy that if you have him on your team, I would strongly suggest that you just wait. Like now's not the time to be moving him or doing anything with him because there's a lot of people that are like right here from him being like worth like, a first rounder or 2 seconds to being like worth 2 first plus. It's just gonna take like, a little bit of off-season hype, or something that comes up, maybe after the draft if Seattle does nothing with the receiver room. And JSN is going to go in there looking the way he is like basically the by far number one guy on that offense. Cup is still a good player, but he's not going to demand the type of, all he's going to do is take the attention away from JSN enough to get that type of like target share that we hope for, in my opinion. So I think JSN just a little bit away from that. And even if that doesn't happen, he's not going to go down in value. So, at this point in time, I think that just wait if you have JSN. I wouldn't even make a move with him yet. I just wait and see what you can get here in maybe a month and a half, and just wait till shortly after the NFL draft is over, maybe, right before preseason or early preseason, you'll start to see, I personally think his value is going to skyrocket at that point, and you're going to see a lot of people really chasing after him. So, that's where I stand. So I'm with you. I think you need to get more. I think you throw another first rounder on there, and then maybe we can talk. That's where I would be with this deal. I would want at least another mid first and DK to get JSN in the 2 picks. Or you drop those 2 picks and maybe throw me like a 204 at the latest.
right.
I'd be okay there maybe, but that'd be about as far as I'd go with it. So. Scott, where do you feel about that? Do you fall differently with us? Do you think the DK side's better than we're looking at it?
Well, I mean, I acquired JSN last year in a lot of places. Because I felt his value was depressed last year. And then when he blew up at the end, I was so happy I acquired him. As long as Sam Darnold doesn't see ghosts again, he should have a monster year. Metcalf's gone. Lockett's pretty much out the door, pretty much a corpse. So he's going to get a ton of target share in that offense. Where Metcalf is going, I think it's more of a downgrade. It's going to a running offense. You got George Pickens. I like George Pickens. I mean, people are down on him, but George Pickens is a freak. And to me, George Pickens is the one there. I mean, Metcalf is not the one there. It's George Pickens. And I'll take George Pickens over Metcalf any day. I love George Pickens. Contested catch. I mean, he doesn't have the blazing speed like Metcalf, but I mean, he's definitely a difference maker. And in this class, 2025, I mean, the 310 is kind of late, but the 209, this draft class, I think it's very deep at running back, and I think you can get a pretty quality running back at the 209. You're giving away a 106, but you're getting back a 209, and I think you can get a quality running back at that point. I haven't really looked at too many mock drafts, but I know Tootin's in there. I mean, you can get I'm drawing a blank, but I mean, there's a handful of running backs you can get at that 209 that could. I think there's about 4 to 5 running backs anywhere from like the 201 to like the 209 that could
See, if
be.
Daniel Jeremiah didn't scare off our resident rookie running back expert, we could have had Connor here to explain some of those running
Yeah.
backs in 209.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Connor would have. Yeah, Connor could have definitely give us a little bit of a.
Thanks, DJ.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But so I'm definitely smashing the JSN side. I like getting JSN. I like potentially get a quality running back. And like Sean said, I mean, it just takes one game where JSN has like 14 catches on like 20 targets, and it's over. Now he's like demanding 2 first-round plus. If you want to acquire him. So
Or you're sitting on him on a win now team as your like wide receiver 3, and you're like, come on, you sons of guns, let's go.
Yeah. So I don't think Sam Darnold's going to be, super awesome like he was in Minnesota, but he can play just as well as Geno Smith. I mean, I think he could put up the same numbers that Geno Smith does. So.
I mean, I think they literally it's the same quarterback.
Yeah,
basically.
they pretty much mirror each other.
The level that they're bringing to play.
Yeah, so if JSN was able to get that kind of production with Metcalf and Lockett there, him being like the bona fide target hog there, I think he's I mean, it's going to be too late to acquire him now, but maybe you can. But yeah, I definitely smashed that JSN.
I think he's becoming what everybody hoped Jameson Williams would be.
Yeah, true.
Another, I mean, take a look at Marv compared to JSN. It could be the same exact thing here, right?
Yeah.
So we could be seeing the same thing,
Yep.
So
I think great point. I definitely think that Marv is a guy that you need to target because JSN can show you exactly the road that he's traveling down right now.
Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you guys? I know it's kind of off topic or off this trade, but I'm seeing like Garrett Wilson slipping, and Garrett Wilson's a great talent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a buy opportunity, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of my targets. Him and Brees, both of them. I mean, they both have the juice, and they both produced with that carousel of nonsense in the Jets, right? So I really see Fields as an opportunity to get a little bit more stability, and if they have that, I think their opportunities are going to open up for busting out off plays, which has really been what's missing, is those being able to break open those plays and pad those stats, right? So definitely go after them.
Yeah, for sure. Have you heard? Because I said this to Sean the other day. We were actually talking about Brees Hall a little bit. We were talking about him and Braylon Allen, and I actually heard a little bit of rumbling that, and I've always said free Brees Hall from the Jets. Hashtag free Brees Hall. There's some here's some rumblings that he might be on the trade block. Have you heard anything like that?
Yeah. So Hampton, I think I saw a rumor on Twitter that if Hampton is on the board, they would try to trade him and trade up. Well, they would try to trade up in the draft to grab Hampton and then trade Brees as a part of that move, I think is what I saw. I'd cite the source if I could remember, but I can't.
I wonder who their target would be. Like what team? Like a Dallas, maybe? Would that be a team that would be interested in something like that because they want a running back that they maybe know what they to expect from or something like that? It's hard to picture Minnesota maybe.
I think the two spots would be Dallas. Obviously, I mean that's not hard to look at, but Minnesota would be a real sneaky spot. I mean, even though you got Aaron Jones there, he's only on didn't he only sign a 1-year deal or did he sign a 2-year?
I think it's one of those like 3-year, but it's like a 1-year with a 2-year option kind of thing.
So he could be pretty much out after next year.
I think so.
Yeah. So if they brought in a Brees Hall, I mean, could you imagine a Brees Hall in that offense? I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, right.
I think either he has a better opportunity going forward in the Jets and will be good, or he gets traded, smash RB1, sky's the limit sort of thing. So I see his range of outcomes for Brees as all either positive or staying the same, or not all, but mostly. And so when I see those sort of
positive
things,
about staying in New York.
right, yeah, granted. I mean, positive as in
Unless
not
you're going upstate.
finding, yeah. But when I see those sort of things, I go after them, right? When I believe they have the juice and there's an ADP shift from one year to another, I try to take advantage of that in trades.
Hey, I mean,
And
that's a team we didn't think about right there too, is the Giants. I mean, he stays right there in New York and just goes over to the Giants, who obviously are missing a key running back after the whole Saquon debacle. That's another team, target wise.
absolutely.
Yeah, for absolutely. So, all right, if you guys haven't already, type in reckless in the chat, and you're going to be entered into a mini league. And if nobody knows what these are our way too early drafts that we start drafting in like right after the Super Bowl, and they just pretty much keep us busy for the year. I've always said that they're awesome, like little tools, because they're not free. They're $4, so you can win something. You just got to basically got a 1 in 12 shot to win money.
It's not that you can just win something. Last year, the wager winner was like, I think $500-$600.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not a small amount that you could take home from these $4 games.
Yeah, it's small to get in, but you could win a big prize. So you just gotta win your league, and you can wager into the next round to get the, like Sean said, the bigger prize. But like I said, it just keeps us busy. It helps us follow ADP, which is super important.
It helps us set ADP because sleeper's so damn far behind.
Yeah, they're so far behind. So I mean, getting in our leagues and drafting, with players that are serious. I mean, we're all serious. And if you get in these leagues, most likely you're going to be drafting against me, like Sean, like Ballsville people. So we're experienced, and so it's a true ADP, a true draft. It's fun. They're on 2-hour timers, so they're slow drafts. And then, like I always tell people, man, it helps you. So everyone's in a home league. Everyone's in that home league where the guys all get together once a year. And the guys, I mean, at mine, I show up at the draft, and this guy walks in with a magazine he just picked up at the grocery store. So you're playing against those guys, and you just freaking smash them because they have no idea about ADP and they have no idea about anything, and you just smash them. So it just helps to get in these drafts, and they're a lot of fun. So how many? Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, Ted.
On that note, we before the off season is over, so when it gets into the real intense drafting period, so maybe July, August, we're gonna have our own ADP from all of our leagues in just in the major formats like Superflex and Superflex TEP. And so we're at maybe right now we're at on maybe just under 100 leagues, something like that. I don't know, like 80 or 60, 70, something like that. And so we'll have maybe, a couple hundred Superflex drafts to draw from, right? And so I think it'll be a really valuable resource for the Funlanders and, whoever joins up.
So Ted, where can the gamers find you if they're interested in checking out your Discord?
Yeah, so I'm gonna post a link in the chat here. The thing about Discord is
Sounds like Scott's dog wants to join too.
Somebody knocked on the door. Jesus, and he goes nuts.
Here we go. I posted a link in the chat. So basically, Discord, for people who don't know, it's a very customizable chat platform where we can add a ton of different features. We can have different sections, just a lot of really powerful stuff in there. And so basically, you click that link, make sure you have the app, and verify you're not a bot. Read the rules and the welcome thing, and then have at it. We've got a Dynasty Knowledge Wiki, which has got a ton of different articles in there that we cooked up, and trade discussions. If you need any help in a draft, we've got a channel called Draft on the Fly. So put in your question while you're in it, and so if it's a slow timer, 2 hours, 4 hours, get the knowledge of the crowd, get the wisdom of the crowd, and make some good decisions. So we've got tons of stuff like that. We're always open to adding new features, listening to the community, right? Because we made this community for everyone, right? So a good idea is a good idea wherever it comes from. So tons of features. We'd be glad for you to join us, and like I said, we've got a section for the Ballsville guys, so you can talk about this format while being in the Discord at the same time. It's good stuff.
All right, awesome. Well, check it out, gamers, and we're about that time right now. We're gonna give a free giveaway away to one of our minis, and we'll get that for you right now. So it's gonna be randomized.
So it looks like we've got 9 entries so far, guys. So if you haven't already and you're in the chat right now, just type in Reckless, get your butts in here, because we're about to hit this draw button. And once we do, that is your last chance to be a part of this giveaway. So if you want yourself a free entry into the way too early Best Ball Mini Leagues, now is your last chance.
And I forgot to mention Trevor Langeroff's in the chat and Todd Barber's in there. Welcome in, guys.
Absolutely. And since we're going to give you guys just a second here, I also want to mention that I am going ahead and posting in the chat right now the link that Ted was referencing that will get you guys the opportunity to go to his Discord channel. So feel free to use those links that were just showed up in the chat there for you guys, so you can go ahead and jump into that. And that being said, let's go ahead and get this drawing underway. What do you say, huh, guys?
Let's do it.
Did not mean to rhyme like I was out of Happy Gilmore, but I am excited about the second one coming up, so maybe I did do it on purpose. Who knows? All right, let's go, guys.
When's that one?
Who is it gonna be?
When's that one supposed to come out? The second one?
Really soon.
Lisa.
It's Mrs. Jimbo.
All right.
Way
to go, Lisa.
Look at that, Mrs. Jimbo. Good for you. I'm so glad that you guys are getting wins, man. After what's going on for you guys over the last few months, every little win is a big deal, I think.
Yeah, a lot of winnings is in there. Let's see if we can. You know what Alex said? Alex told me I have free reigns tonight. So
you want to do another one?
Let's do another one.
nice.
We're gonna do another one. So Alex,
sorry, Alex. That's what you get for not being here.
All right. What we're gonna do is, okay, we gave one away to a Ballsville player. Let's see if we can get a Reckless Ted player to win.
I like it. I am all for that. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if I can get this in time. Oh! So that is Trevor. That's TV, right? So I think we should run it again. What do you think, Scott? That's a Ballsville player.
Yeah, we gotta run it again. Sorry, Trev.
Sorry, Trevor. Yeah, you'll be in the next one. We'll make sure to get you in on the next one. Running it again, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get ourselves a winner from the new group. Josh! Here it is.
Josh is the winner.
There we go.
All right. So, Josh, to collect your free entry, all you have to do is go to theballsvillegame.com, or you can go to Sleeper and DM Westlex and Sleeper, or you can message Trader Clem, or you can message Run the Hurry Up, and we will direct you to where you need to go. We have 4 more mini leagues to be full. So you will definitely get in one for sure.
Absolutely.
And Lisa, same thing. You'll have 4 to get into. So I'm sure your husband will direct you right to where you need to go. So
I love
that's
it.
awesome.
I hope they both get in the same one. You two need to be in the same one so that you guys are drafting against each other.
I want to see them draft together.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Draft
in the same league against each other. I want to see the duality of the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. That would be cool. So, all right. Well, then that wraps up another episode of the Ballsville podcast. We want to welcome in or thank Reckless Ted for coming in to the podcast. Hopefully, if he liked being on today, he's more than welcome to come back anytime he wants. Next time he comes back, I will not give him these crazy quizzes that I just gave him today. And maybe somebody else from his Discord can come on in if they want to come in and talk about Dynasty. We're always looking for new faces. We're always looking for new draft strategies. We're always looking for the the next big thing in fantasy gaming. So for Reckless Ted, for my co-host Trader Clem, I am Run the Hurry Up. Until next week, folks, we are out.
Oh my God. Oh.